you guys are joining us. You're obviously American Horror Story fans. It is time to make some noise. Let's get rowdy. Let's get loud. First of all, let's bring to the stage Miss Naomi Grossman, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, hello. Keeping it moving in alphabetical order. Let's hear it for Alexander Ward. Hello.
Hello.
Absolute pleasure. Next up, we have Marti Matulis coming up to the stage. Hello. And last but certainly not least, make some noise for Teddy Sears. Hello. How are we doing? Yes, yes. You're here. You are here. I'm so excited to see you all. How is everyone doing? How are you guys surviving 2020 as a whole?
Crazy times. Crazy.
Right?
Yep.
Crazy times. I spend a lot of time inside, and I'm doing a lot of home improvement.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like a living season of American Horror Story just outside your window. It's kind of crazy.
Well,
so, but you are having fun, staying sane, staying safe. I hope. Where's everybody coming from? Where in the world are you guys?
Well, I'm up in Portland, Oregon. There's nothing going on up here.
Underplayed.
Nicely done.
Underplayed. Man, please stay safe. For real, because it's getting testy out there. It's getting super testy.
Yeah, don't get disappeared. I'm in Los Angeles area.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful.
as am I.
Awesome. Well, I'm in Ohio, so when you say nothing is happening, that's what this is. So it's quite all right. Though. It's
nothing.
All right. We actually got a lot of people tuning in. We got from Sweden, California, Seattle, Iowa, Australia, Boston, Manchester, the UK, Missouri, Kentucky, Michigan. So we've got people from all over the world tuning in.
Nice.
And let's just get started into this fun questions. I'm going to start off with this. I love horror. I adore horror. I imagine you all do too. What brought you into the horror genre? What got you? What's your fave? Anybody goes first. Let's just jump in.
I'll start. I did not choose horror. Horror chose me. That said, I could not be happier. I really chose comedy, actually.
Okay.
I kind of came up through the Groundlings, which, if people are familiar, is sort of a sketch and improv theater here in LA.
Nice.
I sort of had my sights set on SNL.
Okay.
So I really, I mean, in a way, it's a perfect translation. Like I really fancied myself an extreme character actress who, really kind of transformed myself, from wig to wig, doing these sort of, 3-minute sketches for the most part. Like I said, I never even really watched horror until then. All of a sudden, I had the audition and. I mean, I'm a trained actor. I'm
going to say, but now you're an icon. Like, you're literally a horror icon now. It's fantastic.
But what's awesome about horror is that a lot of the same skills, basically, let's face it, comedy is so often like these, big over the top characters. And when you look at horror, it's so often, it's the same. I mean, there's, Freddy Krueger, these are huge, crazy characters. Absolutely. And so a lot of the same skills that I, at one time sort of assumed I would use for comedic purposes, I'm using for horror. So it all works out.
Brilliant. Marti, what about you?
Similar, trained as an actor, but I've always had an obsession with makeups, like special effects style makeups, going all the way back to classic Universal monsters. So as I was starting to dip my toe into the business, I was like, now I know where I can find these guys who make these monsters. So I started approaching them. And then, as probably Alex can attest, a certain type of physique these guys like, whether it be like super big and strong to hold the big suits up or slim, moves well, like they like certain types of things. So that it kind of was my initial in, is like, oh, there's these guys, we can rely on them. They're thin. They're a body type we like. So then I get to sit there and have these artists apply their art, and then I get to go play monsters, and it's kind of a perfect melding of these worlds.
I love it, and
it's continued.
What about you?
For a while.
I started in the haunted house business.
Okay,
wow. I started when I was
what does that mean?
Right. when I was in 8th grade, I started volunteering at the haunted house on the corner of my street to scare people. That's amazing. What I loved it. So Halloween, I would go, and it was a nonprofit organization, and I went and volunteered my time there as like playing like a creepy clown and running around in 8th grade, just like being scary. And I loved it. But I was like, no one does this for a living. No one makes a living working at haunted houses because you don't make money.
Incorrect, sir. Incorrect.
Incorrect. But I was young and I didn't know. Right? So I was like, well, I was in, theater in high school and I loved acting. And I was like, well, I'll do that. I'll be an actor. That's, I also love performing, blah, blah. And I went to a couple of schools, and then I went to college in Northern California where I'm from. And then I was like, I still suck. I need more schooling. So I moved to LA and went to an acting school down here. And when I graduated, during that time, I met someone who Marty also knows. I met a man named Scott Ramp, who was like, hey, you ever think about, modeling, being in makeup? And I was like, well, yeah, I love monsters and stuff like that. I'd grown up watching horror movies. And he was like, oh, okay, and so he started putting makeup on me. And then we would go to other cons, and I'd sit for makeups at cons for him. And then other people saw me doing that. And then other people called me. And other people called me. And then those people I sat for at conventions modeling makeups then would work on shows and called me for the show. Wow. And that's how that kind of snowballed.
Perfect backdoor in there. It's like, no. I'll just sit in a chair for you, but remember me.
Right.
It's a strange route, but that is how it typically works in that world.
Somebody who Marty and I work for quite often, a man named Corey Castellano, was the first one to hire me, and that's when Marty and I started working together. Is when we worked on Sleepy Hollow together.
Nice.
That was
we tag teamed kind of Monsters of the Week on that Fox show Sleepy Hollow for a few years. Got to be buddies.
Eddie, what about you, man? What brought you into the horror genre?
Dude, I mean, especially early days, basically in acting. Horror, I'll just do whatever, and that's really crass, but I had an audition for the show. It wasn't that I was targeting horror per se. I was targeting whatever job would hire me. That's sort of what happened. But at the time, Horror Story was interesting because this was season 1. This was Murder House,
right?
And I was taking class here in Los Angeles, and in class, the teacher assigned material from the pilot. So just to pair off and go work on this and bring it back. I don't remember what the scenes were, but I remember just being so struck with like, this is cool. This is different. This is like,
right.
This is really out there. And I knew Ryan Murphy's name, but like, I think this is 2011. I don't know when Glee started, but basically you have Nip Tuck from Ryan Murphy, then you have Glee from Ryan Murphy. So I didn't really know who this guy was. I just knew that he had kind of done all sorts of outrageous stuff. But what was on the page was really interesting. So when I had a chance to audition for it, I actually auditioned for Zach Quinto's part. And I think there were, I don't know, I remember reading for it at the casting office. There was at least a dozen guys there, maybe more. But we were all reading for Zach's part. And then I remember reading in Deadline, which is, for those watching, it's, I don't know, it's sort of where you go for industry news. And they'd announced that Quinto had got it. And so I remember reading it and being like, all right, well, that job's over. And then I got a call that night or the night after from my agent saying, listen, I'm sure you read that they gave that role to Zach Quinto, but, Quinto has a partner in the show, and he doesn't do as many episodes, but he's, still, you'll be in at least half the episodes. And Ryan Murphy, saw the tape, and he wants you to do that one.
Awesome.
So, and that's how that whole thing happened. Incidentally, I just finished working for Ryan again on The Politician, both end of season 1 and half of season 2. So it's kind of cool 8 years later. Yeah. Ryan likes to reuse a lot of the same folks that I was hoping to get that call, man. Every new Horror Story iteration that came and went, I was like, well, I guess I sucked because I haven't gotten that call back. Yeah, right. Is it gonna? But anyway, so Ryan's got his hands in so many different things. So I was, so grateful because Murder House was just so like, what is this? I remember he screened the pilot for me when I got cast, and I went to a fitting, and then he said, I want you to go and like watch the first episode so you know what we're doing. Because I think I came in episode, I don't know, it wasn't the pilot, obviously. Right. I don't even think it was episode 2. So I could have a sense of the tone. And I was just I was blown away with what I saw. And I remember calling my wife, my now wife, and saying, I think this is going to win all kinds of awards. This is so interesting. It looks so, just, by the way, we shot on film. I don't know what shoots on film
digital,
anymore.
right.
I don't know if the current, I'm like dominating this. I'm going to shut up any second now. I don't know if the current seasons still shoot on film, but season one, I remember even in 2011 being like, oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like it has that look. When you go look at this, there's something really, oh man, do they just nail everything about the show. So, and that's something that for those who don't appreciate it, like just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. Well, to kind of piggyback off of that, it sounds like you do in fact watch the show, and if you do, I hope so, because I know a lot of actors don't like to watch shows that they're on. But we actually have a question that kind of leads into this from Heather Vicious Vixen Rival. Does any of the scare or scenes freak you out? Do they scare you, whether to watch them or to film them? Any of the things that you guys have seen or done?
I had some pretty intense scenes in my season, especially with the addiction demon creature.
Yeah.
So that was a bit that all came about. I had modeled a makeup for Aaron and Mike McCash, who are amazing makeup artists, and they're in charge of basically all the makeup on the fucking show. And they called me to do this makeup for them, where they did the Freak Show Gates, that big face on Freak Show. They did that as a makeup on me as that character a long time ago. And then I got a call from them asking me, hey, would you like to do, we have this character who comes out of a mattress and like blah, 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 blah. I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do it. So it was this basic, and I saw the kind of thing, and it was basic. It was gross boils and just sick. And I came out of bed and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. Got it. And then I get a call from a friend of mine who works in an effects studio, and he's like, hey, I got this character I'm making for you. It's got this like giant strap-on thing and blah, blah, blah. And I thought he was making fun of me and just, you know, get out of the way. Was just giving me a hard time. And I was like, yeah, fine. And then I finished shooting the Mattress Man, and then they're like, okay, yeah, but you're going to do the addiction demon too. And I was like, oh, that's a thing. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, let's do it. And that became way more. I was in that makeup way more. And that was the first time I had done anything of that type, anything in a scary sexual situation like that.
Notice he said first time, not the last time. Just throwing
that
out.
Broke the seal, man.
There have been other ones, but nothing to that degree.
Fair game.
And so that was a lot, and that was a little scary in just the subject matter.
Yeah. That's one that you got to call family members and go, okay, now listen. When you see this,
because my mother was in town for the premiere on the first episode, and I had 2 tickets, and I was like, hey, do you want to go to a premiere? And she was like, yeah, completely forgetting what I had done in the episode.
Oh, that's terrible.
Completely not thinking about it. And then she came and she watched it, and I was sitting there in the theater just...
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, so what'd you think? She's like, well, I like the first character better. I was like, cool, thanks. Yeah, I got it. All right.
Well said.
Oh my God.
You know what's funny? People thought that character was me.
Really?
Like I had a million people going like, oh my God, I saw you in the mattress. And I was like, no, I would know if I were in a mattress.
Wasn't me.
Which is so weird. I'm like, just because I'm someone's covered in makeup does not mean it's me.
I get it all the time, too. I mean? I get people being like, I saw you in this thing. And I was like, oh, I hope I get paid for that thing I didn't do. Like, I'm like,
right?
It's like...
Just claim it. Just claim it. Use
Getting
it to
back to the question, though, it's funny. We used to actually converge together to watch Freak Show at this clothing optional bar in New Orleans. Yeah. So if you thought Freak Show was freaky as a show, you got to imagine like the meta experience of watching Freak Show with the freaks naked with alcohol. And
I feel like this is a series or a season that we need in our lives now. Like
yes.
Okay.
No, it was great.
American Horror Story, clothing optional bar.
Yeah.
Even after, we were all wrapped in New Orleans, we actually, most of us came back if we lived in LA. And even then there was like a gay bar that would show the show every Wednesday, and
that's amazing.
A lot of us would gather, and they had like entertainment, like there was like freak sort of performers. It was fabulous. So no, I never got scared I mean, I never got past like the fact that there was somebody with a cable or a cup of coffee, like standing, 1 foot off the screen. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I wasn't surprised by the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones. I was only surprised we never had one in Horror Story.
There you go. Marty, what were you saying?
Well, Piggy Man was easy. He was just kind of a equal opportunity slasher. He was going to kill anyone he experienced in that episode.
Right.
However, there was that one episode when the butcher's knife drops, Piggy Man sees it, picks it up, and he goes after the kid.
Yeah.
I love kids. I love puppies. Anyone who knows me is like, oh, Marty, sweet guy. And then I get to play these things. So that was the only one that really kind of bothered me. But that day prior to shooting that scene, I was hanging out with that kid, and she was the coolest kid. She loved horror. All the little kids there were like, what is that gross? Let me touch this. And what's that piggy thing made out of? So they were way cooler about it than I was. So by the time we got to the scene, it was like, oh, all right, I'm just,
yes, I got to kill you now.
Yep. No hard feelings, just feelings.
Teddy, what about you?
Yeah. When I think back, no, I mean, on set, Naomi, you were saying something that was really interesting about sort of comedy translating to horror in that, I mean, the word that came to my mind is just committing, right? Like you're committing to whatever it is, whether it's the, broadest, funniest thing in the world or one of the most ridiculous situation, or, on the horror side of things, the scariest, most threatening, most unnerving, situation possible. I don't remember a sense of feeling scared on set. I mean, but I remember having to have it be the scariest thing. In order for it to be a story worthy of being told, it had to actually be happening to you, right?
Yeah.
Watching in particular, the Rubber Man it's the episode where the Rubber Man kills me, and there's a sort of a lot of stuff leading up to it, like, oh God, I mean, the poor stunt guy he got his head thrown into the mantle and thrown down the stairs. My wife and I are watching it, and she's just horrified because she's seeing me getting thrashed around set. And meanwhile, I'm like, well, honey, the mantle is made out of rubber. And like, that's not me going down the stairs. But they did it in a way where, I mean, she knows me. She's an actor too. She gets it. But to her reaction of being so terrified for me, that's what sticks with me in that situation. And that's just a testament to the ability of the show to transport you in a way where you're feeling the feels, man.
Yeah.
And I just remember the Murder House set being just an eerie, spooky, like the muted lighting and the weird, there's just like they dialed in the macabre like so well, which helps actors tell the story. Because if you're there and you're really like vibing off of whatever's around you, because Naomi, you're right, like there's going to be a boom person over you with a stomach growling because we're late for lunch.
Yeah.
And you have to pretend that that's not happening when it's always happening.
Right there.
You're hungry. They're hungry. You're done it 14 times, But anyway, that's my memories of it.
Well,
9 years ago.
Well
now.
said. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We got a question from Randy Schreiner for Naomi. How did you feel playing Pinhead, and what do you think of all the tie-ins from season to season?
I mean, again, I've never fancied myself like some like ingenue. It's funny. I've gotten all this mileage for being beautiful only because I played this, hideous character. No, so I've always loved, the kind of the bigger the better, whether it's a villain or in this case, like kind of the only good guy.
Right.
I'm all about, manipulating myself and playing a real character. So I'm all on board for that. As far as season to season, I mean, that was a huge surprise. Did not see that coming. It was awesome. Obviously incredibly flattering. They also kind of like backtracked a little. Like they were like, you're coming back as Pepper. And I'm sure that was maybe like a negotiation thing. Like if they figured, if she thinks she's the only person on the planet that can play this part, then maybe, she feels like she's in a little better place
might leverage a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So actually, I do remember being I mean, it really seemed like I was going to be Pepper because I went to the fittings and it felt like that.
Right.
And then, sure enough, I got to set in New Orleans and it was, here's Salty, and he's bald and big ears. And I'm like, okay,
I got it.
And then all of a sudden I'm in the makeup chair. We're waiting for hair. They're about to shave my head. And Ryan says, so are you Pepper? And of course I'm like,
you tell me.
You're the boss. Like, let's decide this,
right?
But I think if it's funny, you'll notice in the first early episodes they don't actually name me as Pepper. I'm just one of the humorous pinheads, and they're very cautious about that. And although I remember there was like a call sheet that was like somehow appeared in Brazil, and it was. Somebody snuck something, and it sure enough it showed up like Pepper, Naomi Grossman, and so jig was up, it was out. But I think initially there was concern that it might not still be qualified to win all the Emmys, which of course it deserved, if it weren't if there were returning characters, if it were no longer a limited series, anyway, that's since been changed. Actually, it's technically a drama now. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No. That was a great question. It was a great question. Let's see. We have D Love 37Y. If you could join any other American Horror Story season, which one would it be? I love the thoughtful face that you all just did just now. Like, I've never actually thought of that. That is
it would,
all
for
of
me,
them.
It would probably be either Freak Show,
okay,
or Asylum.
Nice.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Good choices. Good choices.
For me, Freak Show, because I always loved playing clowns, and I would really love to play a clown on a scary one. I haven't gotten to do it on film yet, so it's something that I would love to do. And Asylum, just because I love that. I love the look of that season and how gross that season is, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
The grosser the better. I love it.
I'd probably go with Asylum too. If I could switch bodies with him, I would love Quinto's repressed mid-century sort of creepy, obsessed, doctor. And I love Sarah Paulson. Sarah Paulson and I worked together on Studio 60 back in 2006, and still have a friendship with her. So for that reason, and I just love all of that mid-century stuff, that sort of looking back and examining it and critiquing it and sort of rolling around in it. So that's what or the next one, whatever American Horror Story comes next.
Well said.
On Roanoke, I loved being on the set of the house because they built that.
That's awesome.
It was solid as a rock. And so when I'm on set, like, it's fun to play with everybody in whatever world you're creating. But when we're not shooting, which is 95% of the time, I like to be on the set and just kind of like look and see how they constructed things. So love being on Roanoke. So from that aspect, I think maybe Hotel, because that set design.
It was so cool.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So anything that I can spend time on and kind of examine from my little architectural brain.
I love it.
That's probably where I go with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I would say for the wardrobe alone, I'm kind of a whore for clothes, which is why this whole quarantine is hard, because I haven't worn anything but like jammies since March.
No, I get it. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. The Hotel and Coven just to dress.
Yeah.
But I gotta hand it to you guys in one. For me, honestly, season 1 is my favorite, and that's it was before I saw the Smoke and Mirrors, so I saw it just as a viewer, like everyone else, and it scared the crap out of me. So I just just by association, I just want to be associated with amazing work. Not that they're not all amazing, but that, just based on my own perspective, that was for me the most amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got super lucky with that one.
Oh man, you did a great job too. Shakri is asking, is it comfortable being in makeup or special effects? Now, I feel like I already understand this one, but
it's like
to hear it from you guys.
So Marty and I have done it a lot, and we've worked a lot together in makeups, and it depends on the makeup. Honestly, I've been in really uncomfortable ones. I've been in really comfortable ones. It just depends. The ones for American Horror Story were surprisingly comfortable because mostly I was just naked. And so it was a lot of paint and not a lot of like actual heavy prosthetics. So other than getting over the embarrassment factor that I'm just naked, it was pretty comfortable as far as a makeup goes.
Okay.
It often comes down to like time and budget. A lot of times, you know, the more time and money they have, the more comfortable they can make the suit. So for like Piggy Man, it was a fiberglass cowl that was molded right on my noggin. So it just went and it fit beautifully. And there was never any kind of discomfort in that. But just if you have an 18-hour day and you have to be in something that's glued to you and you have like 25 pieces in various places, inevitably there's going to be some discomfort. But all these makeup artists are really conscientious. Mm-hmm. They know that you're going to suffer, so they do everything they can to make you comfortable.
I will also say, excluding the fact that I, as the addiction demon, could not see or have a mouth. That was another complication, but that's something I'm used to, so that really doesn't factor into my brain. But yeah, I spent most of the day just sitting there being like staring at the inside of darkness, you know?
Wow.
Hopefully nobody just left you there. I agree.
I mean, the bigger the budget, the more comfortable the prosthetics. And so, yeah, these were not bad. I've done way worse, you know, as far as uncomfortable prosthetics. This was actually, I mean, they wish they could have shut my mouth. That was probably the most uncomfortable part, was the fact that, you know, show up at 4 a.m. and then just, you know, lay back and shut your mouth for a few hours, which is not easy for me. But I think for me, it was just remembering like, oh, scratch your nose now, because you're not going to be able to do it for another, you know, 12 hours or, you know, go into the bathroom alone, or, you know, all those like little time wasters on set, like, you know, playing with your phone or grazing the craft services. Like I can't do, like, I've got the teeth, I've got the, like, there was all these like, you know, I would take other people's hands and like text, you know, just stuff like that, you know, you have to kind of be mindful about. Although I will say, you know, Mike and Aaron, all those guys were amazing making us comfortable. I mean, I'll never forget my first day on set. It was sweltering in that day room. And there I am, like, just sitting in the chair. And I've got, like, makeup artist to my right, makeup artist to my left, all with, like, little fans. And here comes, you know, and next to me is Jessica Lange with no fans, no nothing. Wow. And it's like, I don't know. It was just like this.
I mean, I'm just saying, star power. You got it. You got it.
Well, I mean, let's face it. My makeup was probably costing more than me.
That's,
so, you know, absolutely. I understand why they needed to preserve it.
That's real. That's real. Randy Schreiner's back, says, if you could play any old school classic horror character, who would you pick?
So how old school are we talking?
Let's figure that out. Like, how old school do you want to go? What is old school to you? Where does that go?
From the Black Lagoon. I used to be in the swimming pool every single day of every single summer of my childhood, and I loved monsters. So, like,
nice. So that's perfect. That's perfect.
Wow. Cool design too.
Rosemary's Baby is just my favorite horror movie anyway. So if I could just be Mira Farrow, that would be fine with me.
Fair game.
Okay. If we're doing like super old school, then I'd want to do like a Dracula.
Okay, nice.
I'd love to do a Dracula. But if we're talking like into the 80s and stuff like that, I want to be a Cenobite so bad.
Wow.
I want to be one so badly. Like, I've always wanted to do like a
Twitterverse, do your thing. You heard the request. Let's make it happen. Give me
that Pinhead or Chatter or somebody. Okay,
right.
Get off my lap.
Wow.
What I don't want to be is on the end of the Human Centipede.
Wait. Which
front
end?
Position or not?
Yeah, I was gonna say front, because front is technically an end. Does that count? You just want to be the one in the back. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. I don't want to be in the back.
It's front or bust.
Otherwise, you know, I'm with Teddy. I just want to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is under the umbrella of yes, that.
All of that. Okay.
But it's nice to set intentions, right? And to put it out there. And
I always say I want to be on the side of a bus, and now I'm afraid like I'm going to get hit by a bus.
You got to be specific.
Don't put that energy out there. Let's knock on some wood here. Make sure that doesn't happen that way. Oh my goodness. That is too funny. I know that we're getting close on time, so I want to give you guys an opportunity to talk about anything that you have projected coming up. Obviously, as the world turns, we will see how that goes. But if there's anything that you can talk about that you've done or have been doing, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, fine. I don't have anything I can talk about.
Okay.
I have things that were starting at the beginning of quarantine and everything that will start up again once we can. But I have.
Are they secret though, or like?
Yeah. There's stuff that haven't been announced yet, so I can't say anything about it. The last thing I think that I was in that came out was this newest season of Westworld. I'm in that. Mm-hmm. You can see me as some robots. Nice. And then I think that was the last thing that came out. But yeah, that's stuff's gonna happen eventually.
Stuff
happening. One way or the other, man. We'll make sure of it. Marty, what about you?
Well, we'd finished season 1 of Evil, which was shooting in New York.
Oh.
I know that they're working on season 2. It's just a matter of when, of course, things can happen. So I'll be stepping back into. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm going to be stepping back into the George suit because they killed him.
Right.
In the dream space. So
I
don't know, but there's a continuing upcoming creature opportunity on Evil with those guys.
Beautiful. Nice. Teddy?
I mentioned it earlier, but The Politician is on Netflix. Right. That's another Ryan Murphy thing. Season 2 just dropped maybe a month or so ago. I was in Chicago when all of this happened in March, shooting an NBC pilot called Ordinary Joe, which we will go and shoot. We'll complete at some point in the next few months. No idea when that's going to be scheduled. Kind of depends on the city of Chicago. And actually, then the unions haven't reached an agreement with the studios and insurance companies. And basically, they're just trying to safeguard the actors and figure out how to best move forward with this. So I know that NBC, is excited about it. They're going to shoot it. What happens with it is who knows. It's a pilot, but that is the only thing I got cooking. Otherwise, I'm doing Wizard World, fucking Zoom shit and whatever else, man.
Zoom World.
I love it. Naomi?
So I only because I know Wizard World has a lot of, also gamers, involved. People can look forward to seeing me in the new, or hearing me anyway, in the new Mafia that comes out in September. Awesome. So that's fun. I have a thick Chicago accent. You can listen for me. Other than that, I mean, we're limited, obviously. I've been working on a new solo show. One-woman shows are kind of my thing. That's what I did prior to all this. I have 2 that I've done before. In fact, it's funny. One is called Carnival Knowledge, which I did in 2009. And that's why when all of a sudden Freak Show came out, I contacted Ryan. I was like, I thought of this first, because a lot of the iconography was very similar, which was funny. It's like I was almost like, kind of attracting this,
in the zeitgeist
world. Yeah. But so I've been working on this new solo show, which is it's really been a, something to think about, which is great and the key to my sanity at this time. But I'm hopeful for it. The fact is, let's face it, folks are going to run out of things to watch. We're all home streaming, and Netflix, Amazon, all these guys are going to be kind of hungry for content. They need content that they can shoot without, actors having to touch each other, and with a limited crew. And the fact is, I don't know. I think we're all going to be doing one-woman shows here soon, and so I'm at the helm.
Also, because Wizard World and games and such, if any of you are a fan of tabletop RPGs, and stuff like that. I do a show on Twitch that has 4 seasons now. We'll be doing a 5th season at some point once we can get back together again. But it's called LA by Night. It's a vampire tabletop RPG. We play Vampire the Masquerade, and we all.
I was gonna say, I think you all
What's
should
an
be playing this
RPG?
right now.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, so it's like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we all sit at a table. We have characters and dice, but it's all in character acting, improv. It's entirely improvised storytelling. So the guy runs the game, tells the story, and we play all the characters in the story.
Oh, cool.
And we just improvise the whole thing. It's a lot of fun. We're gonna have another season at some point, but it's super cool. It's called LA by Night.
Love it.
And it's we all play vampires, and it's on YouTube and Twitch under the World of Darkness channel.
I love it.
Great.
Now, I got one more question that I got to ask you guys. It's kind of an important one. It's a little invasive, so I apologize. But
I've been waiting for these. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, who took something from set or has something interesting that they got while being on the show?
Right back.
Oh,
Okay,
snap. Snap.
I'm gonna fess up right here.
I'll start because
Teddy, bring it on.
Yeah, so no, I actually have here. This is a funny question. I actually have it here. My season 1 wrap gift might have just been mine because maybe I was an afterthought, or maybe this is what everyone got. I don't know. I haven't compared notes, but they thought it would be fun to present us with our own American Horror Story knife set.
Wow.
That is, yeah.
Nice.
Basically it's a steak knife and I don't know. It's like,
I would feel very threatened getting this gift. I don't know.
But you didn't steal that. They gave that to you.
I didn't. Right. Exactly. I kind of wish, looking back, that I had swiped anything. So I don't have a take from set story. This is my sort of this is all I got story. So, but I'm curious what you guys got.
Well, I didn't steal it either because I asked.
Okay,
but
that counts.
These are my ears, and
my God.
I used to collect, every day afterwards. I was like, can I keep them? And the idea is, I've never been crafty in my life, so I have no idea what I was thinking. But Christmas was coming, and I was like, what if I glue the two together and put a little string? It'd be an ornament for Christmas.
Oh,
yeah.
And I had
like a heart.
100,000 of them, so I thought it's perfect. Well, I never did anything with them. I don't know what They probably all congealed to some disgusting bag in my closet now. But anyway, that's all I got.
Oh my goodness.
Every Christmas they're a different shape because they just keep molting into something new.
That's not creepy at all.
No.
I love you, your family, friends. Here are my ears.
I have 2 things. One is a something that happened after we filmed, and one is something from set. So I have the thing from set. I have my teeth.
Whoa.
From the Mattress Man.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I have my teeth.
That's
They're real
really
gross. They made my face all.
How often do you wear them, Alex? How often?
I was gonna say.
I don't wear them very often. How
did you get them though? Did you just accidentally walk away?
No, they had a second set, so they had an extra set, a backup pair, and that was they gave them to me at the end of the season. And then I have this, which was made by a company. I have my face that's a Halloween mask.
I could not have that in my
Halloween
house.
mask, Alex.
There is no way. Have you worn that in public? Be honest.
No, but I have it sitting on my head. I have a cast of my head on my dresser, and it sits on top of the head cast over the head. So this is me as the Mattress Man. I have this.
Oh my God.
It's a weird thing. It's really, it does to me, it doesn't look like me. So I'm just like, what the fuck?
That makes it worse, man, because at least if it looks like you go, oh, no, I know what that is. Yeah. I wake up in the middle of the night and see that, I'm pooping. I'm telling you that right now.
I found a pepper mask in a Party City once, and I put it on, and I did a full pepper, and I was scaring everybody. There was a baby crying. I had the help, can we not? I mean, it was
no, you don't understand. I'm the thing.
But I am her. Yeah, we get it.
Right, lady. Yeah, right.
Yeah. You're welcome, by the way.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Marty, what about you?
I got nothing. I can't do it. And anything that I have that I would take comes off with removers and has been sweat in for 18 hours. And the props would be cool, but I usually, they need those again. I know, Naomi. I'm rethinking my philosophy on
that.
However, I did find on eBay one time the mask and the full suit from something I did on Sleepy Hollow, and I looked at them. I'm like, somebody's gonna buy my sweat on eBay? That's disgusting.
A bunch of mine were on there too.
Listen, a fan is a fan, okay? You don't get to pick them.
Enough.
They pick you.
Fair enough.
So
I don't want to see that in my room. So no, I haven't brought anything home.
I got messaged by somebody on like my side Facebook messages once that like I happened to look at like the message requests, and someone, I guess Horror Story sold some of their props, and they sold my dildo. Sold that, and someone bought it. And apparently some friends of mine were trying to like get money together to buy it for me, but they didn't do it in time. And then someone bought it and they contacted me and asked me if I would sign it. And I was too scared to reply because I'm like, I don't want to like,
no.
I was like,
weird.
I don't want to do that.
I hear Goodbye Horses playing in the background.
Yeah. I love that song. But yeah, that was weird. No, but yeah, I also saw things from Sleepy on like suits I'd worn. I was like, I know that's fucking gross. I sweated in that for 18 hours. I don't know why that's gonna smell so bad. Like
somebody loves it. Somebody
gives it value.
Yeah. It's unique.
It's got texture and flavor.
Yeah. No, I just wear it sometimes when I miss you guys. That's all. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to say goodbye to everyone watching. We literally have people from all over the world. We actually had some folks coming in from Brazil, Argentina, and Peru while we were talking. So
incredible.
Give you guys a chance. Namely, we'll start with you.
Well, gracias por estar con nosotros, for the Peruvians and where did you say? Argentina. Claro que sí. Y hoy, gente, para os brasileiros, thank you to everyone for joining in. This was super fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Teddy.
Yeah, no, thanks. I mean, without you, we wouldn't be here today, but we also wouldn't have jobs, we wouldn't have careers, because if you guys didn't care about what we did, we would be rudderless without you. Anyway, just thanks for tuning in. I love doing these. It's always fun to talk to fans, even though there's no real back and forth. But Victor, thank you for having us on and having a great show today.
My absolute pleasure. Marty.
Yeah, the strange times that we're in that necessitate this type of get together, but I like this type of get together because it is an opportunity for people around the world to get some insight into the process or other aspects of the shows that they're really appreciative of. Whereas prior to Zoom, what do? You go to conventions. Now, if we go to conventions, we can sit in our rooms and it feels more direct. And
absolutely,
it's nice that we can share experiences with people. Absolutely.
Alex?
Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. I haven't done a lot of panels. So this has been really fun, and awesome. I apologize for all the meowing you heard during the
no, it just made it sexy.
This one is loud. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed it. And also I agree completely. If you didn't care about what we do, we wouldn't be doing it. And I like doing what I do, so I want to keep doing it. So please, I thank you so much for watching our stuff, and please continue to watch our stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Audience, let's give a round of applause to these guys. Dip out off stage. Thank you guys for being here. We thoroughly appreciate you sharing your energy, your talent, your time with us. It's truly a pleasure. Again, quick reminder, don't forget, to the fans watching live or watching later on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, check out those paid exclusive experiences like the ones on private video chats, autographs, custom video recorded messages at wizardworldvirtual.com. There's all kinds of awesome stuff. You guys want to get all of that goodness. And again, shout out to gocollect.com for being our sponsor. You guys are fantastic. Check them out as well. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics. Thank you to Wizard World for bringing us all together. American Horror Story. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. You guys are fantastic. And we are out of here.
Hey, this is Alex Malari Jr., and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Your Emperor commands it. Thanks for watching.